been a minute, huh? We should get that out of here. Get that out of here. All right. Let's let's pull up our stuff here before all our people start jumping in. Let's do TikTok and YouTube. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? I just want welcome. How we doing, people? It's been a minute. Let me tell you, it's been a minute, but we're getting stuff rolling here. We've got closer and closer to being open to people in person, obviously, open to everybody. As of right now, remotely. So, hearing some feedback. Okay. Um, New managing moderators can support your blah, 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 blah. No. Pull up live chats. Nas is already popping in. Look at you. That was quick. I love how some of you people are watching from work and you're just like as a pastime. Pretty cool. Where am I from? I'm actually in New Jersey right now. So, sorry, I'm ADD'd right now, trying to get everything pulled up. Okay. Give me 1 second. What? Okay, there it is. Jeez. I was watching a show, saw you jump on live. Heck yeah, you're one of the day ones, Nas. So, pretty cool, hey? Sully, where you from? Oh, wow, Ghana. Guyana? Is that, am I saying that wrong? Either way, I've got some. I always do, when I do lives, I do it with the supplement with me. It just helps, depending on what I'm taking, it helps just keep me rolling on the train here. We've got some protein coffee. I actually threw some maca powder in here. I know it's Yeti, but I got to get a Wellness Way branded one. That'll be coming pretty soon for the people popping in. I'm Dr. Antonio. I'm a chiropractor and health restoration doc for the Wellness Way. Opening up my very own Wellness Way clinic here in New Jersey, the very first one in New Jersey. So, but not only do we have coffee, we've got water. And in this water is lion's mane mushroom, electrolytes, and all the good stuff there. So I'm not peeing every 20 minutes. And then, like I said, we've got our star of the show tonight, ashwagandha, for afternoon. It's 2 p.m. for me, so I have no idea what it's like for you guys. But I'm gonna start sipping on some ashwagandha, get us rolling, get my brain firing off for all you guys, and obviously submit your health questions. If it's too advanced, then yes, I will email you and we'll set up a time. We'll get on the phone and make plans and make it a thing. But ashwagandha, honestly, one of the best tasting ones. Their herbs never taste good. Let me be real. They will never taste good because they're plants extracted. So you're getting all the everything there. Very first question from Sully. Look at you already firing things off. What's the use of it? Oh, of the ashwagandha? Is it for the skin? Not really for the skin. More for certain autoimmune responses. So some T cell regulation there, and more of a modulation than anything. So if you don't know, ashwagandha is adaptogenic, which is extremely helpful when your mic doesn't want to fall. That should be good enough. T regulatory cell functions, so some autoimmune responses that you can help out there, but obviously taking a ton of stress off the adrenals, and not, like I said, not just from a place where you force things to happen. Supplements don't do that anyways, but it's an adaptogen. So if you're extremely tired, it can kind of be a little push-up bra for the adrenals. If you're, uh, you know, super hyped up, it can calm things down. Obviously, depending on the person and their labs, you'll kind of use different things in certain scenarios based off the individual. But primary use for the immune and adrenal functionality that you get from there. And there's obviously more constituents. It's very iron rich. So people that are anemic, there's 20 different things that each of these herbs do, but pretty darn cool. I'm actually, let me pull this up too. Why isn't my thing coming up? There we go. Anyways, we'll just keep rolling. All right, we got some YouTube questions though. My doc from Ryan, my doc just prescribed me hot showers. What? Toddies? Toadies? Toadies. Toadies? What the hell is that? Toddies. Is this a tea? I can't tell if this is a joke because YouTube, you guys are funny. Let me hand it to you. I mean, that doesn't sound too bad, honestly. Obviously, if I'm answering this all out here, it's going to be elderberry mixed with reishi mushroom, cinnamon, honeysuckle, lemon peel. That's what's in our elderberry from the Wellness Way, with like colloidal silver, um, vitamin D, obviously, and echinacea. Those are probably your best immediate sick care bundle that I would have people doing. That's what I have anybody doing with those. So we're going top button because this freaking microphone won't stay there. Give me a sec. In a minute, I'm a little rusty, hey? I hate how the top button looks, but we gotta do it because this mic keeps falling. So we got her all propped up now. Anyways, happy Friday. How you guys doing? Ryan, that was really funny though. What else? What else? I'm basically going through and setting up a lot of back end stuff right now. So having low voltage people come in, having people build out the x-ray room. So I pulled the permits for those. That's super fun. Nobody warned me about how fun it will be ordering permits and doing all this stuff. So, but for the remote people, lucky for you, that won't affect you guys because it doesn't. But Ethan, constant mild headache, low energy for a year. Tried adjustments, tried electrolytes. Okay, so it's not physical, which is good. And you tried some chemical things there because my standpoint all the time will come from okay, we have a health issue. What stressors and what things are causing that health issue? Whether it is something like headaches. Headaches can be something physical. Obviously, there's the postural related things. Like you said, you went, you got adjustments done, did all those things already, which is great. Started doing some of the electrolytes, which that's like, okay, if that's not helping, we know it's not a deficiency of electrolytes. We know it's not some postural traumatic thing happening with the cervical spine, irritating maybe the muscles of the head and neck, causing some tension headache that way. You kind of ruled those things out, which is good. That would be my place to start anyways. The next journey is going to be food related. So getting something like a food allergy test done, I can help you with that if you don't know where to get it from. I do want you getting all 4 IgG subclasses looked at, which not all uh, food tests look at. So something like Everly Well, people claim that that's a good company to get things from. I've seen a lot of patients have that company run their food test for, but they don't look at all 4 IgG subclasses, and their sensitivity and specificity is not that great. So you know, um, there's that. Albizia, fantastic dilation of the blood vessels, taking a lot of tension out of the head, and maybe something like ginkgo to pair along with the albizia that way until we find what is creating the symptoms. But my first thought is okay, immune system or GI related if it wasn't a nervous system or deficiency related thing. So who is that? Ethan? Yeah, Ethan, message me if you got more questions there. Buki, what's going on? You didn't say we're so back. I don't know if I think that was you, right? When you go, we're so back. We gotta keep our traditions. Either way, I just had my appendix out last night. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that. Fevers for over a month straight. That is definitely not fun. So maybe some calcium deglucarate, some milk thistle, and things that are just going to help bind up toxicity and flush it out of the stool. Since you had that for a little while there, for about a month, we're getting some sepsis developing. So that's not fun. It's pretty scary, honestly. Um, but I'm glad you got that sucker out of there. So search up Vadir Derbies. You look just like them. So we're just going to copy and paste that right in. With YouTube, you never know. This could be a complete joke. So, okay. This is a new look-alike. For some reason, every time I go live, you guys are trying to tell me I look like somebody. Freaking okay. It's like Evan Peters, this guy, this guy. But this one's probably the closest one I've seen yet. So, kudos to you for Villagrand's pit stop. Pretty damn close there. Aqua Life says hello. Hello, Aqua Life. We got YouTube and TikTok up here. Hope you guys are doing well as I burp for you. Completely missed my mouth. All right. Candles by Anne. What do I do? My lipase is at 113 and the hospital won't admit me. Okay. I haven't eaten in 3 weeks, just water, and I lost 22 pounds. Holy moly. Okay. I would like you to start doing, because we're going to be looking at some pancreatic issue there, playing a role in that, and some issue with the gallbladder and things too. I would want you to start doing something like dandelion root tincture and gymnema along with Oregon grape. So that's going to allow you to break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates a little bit more. There's going to be berberine in there. It's going to help the stomach, pancreas, and gallbladder all stimulate things, help push bile through, help you break down your fats and your sugars, and work on things from a microbial standpoint there too. And hey, coleus tastes terrible. Tastes terrible. Lymph nodes swollen, so sometimes that can happen. I'd be curious as to how many are swollen, if it's on both sides of the neck, how crazy that's going. But my answer still stands. Or I was gonna say coleus instead of dandelion root, but let's stick with the dandelion root, Oregon grape, gymnema, and then send me a message there. I'd be curious as to what labs have been run already, and if labs have not been run, we definitely need to run labs. Oh no, the stomach lymph nodes. Okay, then yeah, we got to look for where the immune response is occurring within the GI tract, and there can definitely be things like I mentioned earlier with the food allergy test there, and with something like a GI test, so that we can look at microbially what is irritating the immune response from a food standpoint, what's irritating the immune response, and now we know okay, um, food antigens that are entering into the bloodstream that should not be making it there. So you're having food proteins be recognized. And a lot of times when people are having a lot of pancreatic stress, lipase, an enzyme that comes and deals with the pancreas pretty heavily there, you're going to see a lot of sugar-based things show up on the food allergy test. So they did a full panel on labs. Beautiful. Send me a message on here. And then that's the beautiful part about TikTok. But then I'll give you my email and I want to look at those labs. No gallstones, which is great, and nothing with the gallbladder. And there can be irritation with the gallbladder and not have pathology show up. So you're having symptoms and issues and all these things go on, which is not fun. But there's no pathology, which means you're not dying. That's great. You don't need a life altering surgery or a life altering medication or any procedure like that, which is a good thing. That is fantastic. I would prefer that scenario. But yeah, we still got to get more advanced things. They're going to look at functionality and where you lost that function and why the symptoms are developing in the first place. Simply, you can have mental stressors, chemical stress, physical stress that creates inflammatory responses. The immune and nervous system are the primary systems of the body. They can change all the others, including the digestive system. So we got to look at your immune response here and help out the GI. But send me a message. I would love to look over these labs and I'd be curious as to what they ran. And maybe we need to look for more, but let's take a step back and look at what we have. Aqua Life, I will get to your question right now. All right. Salam, Brazil. Oh my goodness. You guys are popping in from all over the world here. So, age 20. My weight is 30. What do I do eating properly? So, it sounds like you're from a different country because weighing 30 pounds would be pretty shocking. Do you mean 30 kg? What would be 30 kg? Not to grams. How do we even do that? Into pound. 66 pounds. Let's see if she put in more details down below. So yeah, if you're let us know if you see that very, very low or Aqualife, if you're still in here. If you're weighing 66 pounds, we got to do some things here. And I love that you're eating properly, but there's a breakdown or an absorptive issue here. Again with the GI. You guys in these GI tracks today. It's like the third or fourth one off the bat, but you're either not breaking foods down enough or they're not being absorbed and they're just making its way out of the GI. So I'd be curious as to what stomach acids look like, um, because that's going to help you break down a lot of your foods and get them absorbed and make tissue out of them. Protein levels, another one. Caloric levels, another one. I would really want to probe some more questions here too, but that is probably something that we can work through pretty easily there. I would wonder what you've done, what has worked, what hasn't worked. And my chiropractor retired. I'm very sorry to hear that. I haven't found a new one. Nervous because I have osteoporosis. Okay. So, good news is that osteoporosis is more of a chemical thing that goes on there and deficiency wise, because especially if depending on where you are in life in terms of hormonally, even your estrogens, even your thyroid health can play into bone metabolism, because estrogens and thyroid hormones are highly connected there. So if you're running into issues with high stress, if you're running into issues with poor sleep, or just getting to that age where hormones are starting to dip lower and lower, that's going to be a huge reason for having bone metabolism issues. Um, Weight training, resistance training, protein levels, bone broth protein, all great initial steps. But I would be curious as to what sugar's looking like, as to what your liver health is looking like, because that's going to help a lot with the conversion of these things. That's also going to play a role with bile and getting enough fat absorption so that, and I mention that because sometimes people are having like these digestive complaints that we've been talking about, and you're starting to lose some function with the gallbladder, and then you lose production of hormones when it's a digestive issue. And we just completely flipped the switch and started looking at hormones when it wasn't even an issue there. So, what tea is good for people who have trouble sleeping? California poppy or kava or chamomile. However, you're not going to get all the constituents within that tea. So, I like people doing more tincture based things with that same California poppy or kava. Just don't do kava in a little bit of excess because it can be stimulatory and help you produce some more dopamine. So watch out for that. But yeah, teas are great. They're just not going to have as much of the powerful things. I've been in so much pain, burning in my stomach. Okay, so we may have some barriers starting to get broken down. And now we're at kind of the start of what an ulcer sounds like, especially if you're having that much pain. I would wonder with or without food. That would be my next question. Um, but yeah, we got to get some mucosal things developing there too. So maybe even a little bit of chamomile and aloe vera juice. But 86 kg. Okay. 86 kg. What is that in pounds? I don't even know. Okay. So you're trying to lose weight here. Drop your sugars, get your fibers up, and protein. Honestly, go to thewellnessway.com, type in protein calculator, and then your goal weight, we need to match that up with how much protein you're doing and even activity wise too. Because If you're not moving enough, even sprinting, resistance training being the best ways to help you lose weight because you're going to be breaking down a lot of muscle tissue, and muscles love sugar, love it. Um, so that's going to help you use up a lot of that sugar a bunch there too. Obviously, I want you lowering your sugar amounts in the first place, doing protein like crazy, because people think, well, if I do protein in excess, am I going to gain more weight? No, no, no. Your body's going to look for that homeostatic range weight wise. So, yeah, supplements can't force things to happen in the body, which people get confused because you're trained to look at things like medications. But coleus also really good for breaking down fats. So that might be a little sneak trick there. But I obviously want to see some labs here before we move things forward. Ryan Beach, what's up, man? And then Baby Bunny says heal or he will. Either way, what's the reason for fast heart rates feeling after eating? Usually stomach acid's too low. So just so happen to have it here because I practice what I preach. Um, BT and HCl, or starting with something like apple cider vinegar, definitely extremely affordable. I say BT and HCl because apple cider vinegar tastes terrible. And if you're already having that type of issue, you're going to be extremely sensitive to something like vinegar. So I would be doing one of these, as soon as you eat. I would have to kind of, or before you eat, I would have to learn a little bit more about you too to know how to dose that properly. But you want to do what's called a tighter dose and take the dose up and then start working things back down once we get stomach acid up high enough. But potassium being deficient and stomach acid being deficient, top two reasons I see that all the time. I actually used to have that. What type of doc? Chiropractor and health restoration. Um, Basically, holistic practitioner for the wellness way, doing things from chiropractic realm physically, chemically, mentally, and functional lab testing, and basically getting everybody back to normal using an alternative or a holistic approach here. Not the typical alternative approach that you're used to, because functional medicine does not do what we do entirely. They do kind of get stuck in some patterns of doing the same thinking that medicine does, just doing it with natural stuff. So that's not what we're doing here. We're looking to solve problems and get you out of care. The whole purpose of wellness way care is to get you off of the schedule, off of supplements, off these things. So that means you're truly solving problems, right? We got our first hater. Welcome, welcome. If it's pseudoscience, then why does it work? Then why do all my patients come from medical practitioners? Why do I see medical practitioners under my care? And then why does it work? Why do their labs go back to normal? Why do the symptoms go away? But you're a bot, afraid to put your own name on here. So I got to give you some fire back for what you give me, right? And then, yes, sir, says, I've had some lymph nodes as a 17-year-old for 2 years. They've not gotten bigger. MRI blood test is normal, which is great. Um, I would want to look at those lymphocytes because I'm sniffing some viral infection here, and you're probably just immune suppressed. And we need to look at vitamin D. We need to look at lymphocytes and possible viral infections here, because that's a huge reason to see that come back and back again. Vitamin D should be 70, 80, depending on what's going on. But aside from that, medicinal mushrooms are pretty much a safe bet if you do not have labs. I love reishi mushroom. I love turkey tail for things like this. And licorice will inhibit viral transcription. But you didn't hear any of that during COVID, did you? You didn't hear that. And if you got COVID jabbed, you need to be doing licorice and chaga, because both of those things help with transcription of that virus, slowing it down, and fighting off that viral protein like crazy, especially in the chaga mushrooms. But we didn't hear any of that during COVID, right? Kind of funny. Anyways, and then some other bot comes in here. If MRI and blood tests are normal, you're more likely than fine, especially if no other symptoms. Yeah, she has symptoms. She's concerned with something. There's an issue going on. You're losing functionality. lymph nodes that are swollen have not gone away for 2 years and you want her to just sit there and do nothing, freaking bots, dude. This is not a medical page. This is a holistic page. We don't just ignore shit until it reaches a diagnosis. That's not what I do. Keep scrolling. I freaking hate people that think they freaking run my page. It's like, psh, get a job, you know? Sorry for the sass. I just gotta give a little sass back, you know? How long have we even been? Almost 30 minutes. Jesus. The lives always fly by on here. All right. Okay. How we doing? Let's see. Do I have a little story time for you guys? What other stuff do we got going on here today? I love this. Right. Chiros act like everything to make money, regardless if indicated medically or not. It's not medical practice, buddy. My entire point of view is not practice, medical practice. I mean, you're playing the role of an MD without being one. I haven't given a single medication or surgery piece of advice here. The fuck you talking about? You people are brain dead. Eat some goy slop. Go get your frickin' vaccine schedule up to date. Eat goy slop. Get your vaccine schedule up to date. Don't go outside. Eat a bunch of sugar. Yeah, Pedal that stuff. Ordering labs, tests, medical purposes. No. Functionality. I don't look for diagnoses. There's no diagnosis codes on my freaking labs, dude. The hell are you talking about? You have no idea what you're saying. Get the hell out of here. Woo! Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Getting fired up. You kind of look like Evan Peters. Every live. At least one of you has to say it. There was actually somebody on YouTube that was pretty close to an even better lookalike, to be honest. Do I get that a lot? Every single live I do. Every single one. These are recorded. I post them. You can go on my YouTube page and look at all of them. I mention Evan Peters in there. Get the transcription for it, and you will see an Evan Peters comment every single live. Maybe not every single. There may be one or two that don't say it, but the people on TikTok are always saying it. And actually, on YouTube, this guy, I don't even know how to spell this, but this one's pretty close. I'm actually going to put it in on the TikTok chat. This is what, let me see if you could see this. Can you see the chat I just put in there? Just a brown version? What? I'm Italian. Nervous? I do this every day. What are you talking about? Actually, I've been putting the office together for a while, so the olive version. That there we go. I love it. Can you guys see the comment I put in there though? Or why? Maybe I can't comment on my own lives. No. Well, it was Vadir Derbies. It's very hard to pronounce. And then Evan Almighty. This was, I didn't put it in the YouTube chat. This was the one that they were saying was the lookalike. And I was like, holy crap. Where am I at? I'm in New Jersey. In here in New Jersey, starting the first wellness clinic here. And we are open to remote patients, not to in-person patients, unfortunately, because I'm setting up the x-ray, pulling permits, and hanging all the stuff up in here. It's getting kind of cool. My room's almost complete. We got patient chairs. I just got to hang some stuff on the walls. And honestly, I hate hanging stuff on the walls because I get all OCD about it. And if it's a little bit off, I'm like, oh my goodness, now we just drilled a hole in. All right. We got a question over on YouTube though. Currently taking Nettle. Nice. Vitamin C and histamine intolerance cleared up. Beautiful. Can I ask if I can solve the problem permanently? I love that question because that framework of thinking is what we do. Because now, if you stop taking nettle and stop taking vitamin C and these things come back, well, what did we really do for you? Not much. And that's why I think the testing is so important, because if we find why this is happening and track progress over time and then know when to come off all these things and don't have those issues come back, now we're talking. So I love those initial moves, though. I'm happy you're seeing the good results. Those are two beautiful things. Um, Aside from that, now it's getting labs done to meet or to look for why you have these issues in the first place, and food is a huge reason for it. You could be eating things every day that don't, drive you up a wall. And oh, yeah. I remember you saying this. The histamine intolerance only started after COVID. That's why I'm confused. Don't be confused, though. Histamine intolerance, you're activating mast cells like crazy. They're trying to scoop up a ton of antigens that are circulating throughout your system, and your body's not clearing out. So we need to help your body start clearing out those things and help the immune response build up enough so that you could kick this stuff right out of you. But there's probably some interactions there with food that are just piling on to, the issue with COVID there. Now it's looking at some blood work here to look at vitamin D, look at your immune cells, and work things up the way they should be. But yeah, aside from that, I was in New Jersey last week. Oh my goodness, for what? Coming to these parts. I hope you didn't get stuck in traffic, depending on where you're at in New Jersey. um, what your alma mater? What the hell does that even mean? I gotta Google some of this stuff. So, oh, school. Some of you guys from all over the world. So, which school? Undergrad, graduate school? Abiola. I think I've seen you in here before. Hi, good afternoon, sir. God will give peace and Merry Christmas in advance and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, and Merry Christmas. Look at that. Little quick trip. Nice. Both undergrad was King's College in Pennsylvania, and then grad school was at Logan University in Missouri. And Missouri's kind of cool. Where I was at in Chesterfield. Wow, I almost forgot the name of the town. Yeah, Chesterfield, Missouri. Nice little town out there. Definitely not St. Louis. Okay, we got some more commentary from Evan here. I didn't have histamine intolerance before. I'm wondering if this is temporary. It's going to take a very, very long time to go away if we don't get labs done. Yes, I have very bad episodes. It's mainly chicken. Ha! How did I know food was involved? Which really triggers me. I end up in the emergency room nearly every week. Holy goodness. We got to set up a phone call. Let's do a complimentary phone call visit. First one's always free. And then I'm doing discounted ones because of the grand opening coming up. So free complimentary call to start, then a $99 1 hour or almost 1 hour visit. And then we get labs run, figure out what the heck's going on. But that is super unfortunate to hear. And with something that aggressive like that, okay, I do take vitamin D, only 1,000 IUs though. Only 1,000 IUs. So if you're deficient, if you're at 20 or 30, that's going to have to increase a lot, but only for a certain period of time. So I'd be curious as to more things going on there. But great question. Ooh, graduating college in 4 months. Where from? What do you graduate in for? Degree and stuff? Let us know. The nettle vitamin is working. Beautiful. But I still get very swollen left side and shaky legs. So I would want you to add in albizia there. Albizia, let me put it in the YouTube chat. Albizia. Because both of those paired together, I call them a wombo combo because both work on mast cells like crazy. So, you're having crazy mast cell responses from so many different antigens, and we haven't figured out the triggers for the immune system just yet. Now we need to do some supportive factor before we know the answers to those problems, but we still need to find the answers to those problems. Albizia Both nettle and albizia are a liquid herb. So I'd want you doing liquid forms of those. But that's why we create our own brand, because these have to be extracted for at least like sometimes half a year at the very least. And the herbs have to be grown on organic farms. The farms next to those farms have to be organic, and they have to be extracted properly and pulled out and mixed properly. So you don't get air pockets and then they mold, and then Amazon companies just bottle them up and sell them every day. So I would want you getting them from us. I have a bunch of tests from functional medicine doc. Okay, still have to do those. Well, hey, whether you want to jump on a call before or after, let's get those darn labs run. And I'd be curious, if you already paid for them, yeah, let's do those immediately. Political economy of finance with a minor in sustainable business and policy. Super fancy. Look at you getting all smart. So this is nothing to do with bad gut bacteria function. No, that's still a part of the conversation, because that's still going to irritate the immune response. So you could be lacking certain bacteria, or you could be in excess, and we don't know. So that's why people that go out on the internet and buy random probiotics and start doing them, not knowing what their own levels are of probiotics and prebiotics and opportunistic infections, all these things, and you're just playing a guessing game. Why are we doing that? You're going to spend a lot more money, uh, energy, and time trying to figure that out when you can just get a simple test that tells us what to do and how to rebuild the body from the inside out. I'm taking kefir. It doesn't help much. Yeah, you could be allergic to dairy. I've been taking it for 2 months. Don't feel much different. I would cut it out then if you're not feeling much different. And a lot of people are reactive to dairy too. So, yeah. Good question though. My goodness. It's freaking cold in this room too. Freezing. My coat's like all the way across my office here. Feels weird saying my office now, but for sure is. For sure is my office. Yes, everybody's a puzzle, right? I can't pinpoint the exact cause. Cause is, because there's more than one. Um, and everybody's a puzzle, and we got to put those pieces together. That's honestly the whole point of doing the labs is half the story. Hearing your the story from you is key too, because I need to match those labs up. You're not a piece of paper, right? And Rohith is saying hello. How we doing, man? It's been a little while, huh? How's school going? I know you're studying like a crazy madman. I hope that's going well. Maybe you're on semester break. That'd be nice. A little winter break there. Oh, Lane's here. Lane's here now. I gotta give her some shit, you know. Lane, it's been a while. It's been a while, buddy. Ah, but we are getting this office going, my friend. Thoughts on Kratom? Mm, I don't think. I don't think it's worth it. I know it has. Yeah, I've been putting furniture together. I got my patient chairs right there. I got my desk going here. We got computers now. We got Wi-Fi now. What else? The hardest part is the X-ray room, honestly. Trying to pull permits for plumbing and build out, and it's like a freaking mess. So getting there. Exactly. Okay. Took some oregano oil too. Okay. Winter's not that hard here, so no winter holidays, but the main exam is January. Woo! Looking good. How's the work going? She's cranking away. Now we're doing things remotely. We got remote appointments available. Just trying to get it available for the people in person here in Randolph, New Jersey, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Got to hang stuff up on the walls first. Why does protein powder make me nauseous? Interesting. What are you having it with? Is it just with water? Are you doing it with coffee? And What kind, obviously, if it's from Equip or Ancient Nutrition. Okay, just water. Are you doing any apple cider vinegar right before you do it from Equip? Yeah, because a lot of the, I mean, but it's any protein. Okay, that is a good thing to hear. We could do a little bit of just stomach acid or aloe vera support right before you do it. If you're having a hard time breaking down proteins, which knowing a little bit about your story, there can be some issues breaking things down there, and you can get a little bit nauseous, especially if you just slug that protein shake trying to get it in and get out the door. Then yeah, try going a little bit slower. Take your time, sip on it, uh, acidify the stomach, which you know how to do at this point. Either BT&HCl, digest well, apple cider vinegar. There was a major study on protein powders, and said or stated that they are filled with fillers and additives, which is really common. That's why I was asking her about the brands right off the bat, because sometimes it's just a shitty brand that's causing half the problems. So if we could rule something out immediately, then yeah, that's so true though. All right. Well, hey, I have a phone call to jump on in about 6 minutes. So thanks for hanging out. For the people still hanging out, or you got additional questions, if you're on YouTube, I put my email in the channel description. I know, YouTube, get a damn messaging button, please. Make everybody's life easier. But TikTok, obviously, the beauty here is that you could just send me a message. If you have labs for me to go over, I'll send you my email. You can send me those. We can get on call, work things through, figure out what we got to do to get your body back to normal. So, all right. Good stuff, though. Thanks for hanging out. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me hanging out. As always, stay healthy, stay free. It's Friday. Enjoy it. Go to sleep early. Don't do sugars like crazy. And exactly, have a great day and a good weekend. But I'll be back here tomorrow on the next day. And we may be on later too, depending on how much stuff I get out of the way and get finished up here. So good stuff, though. Thanks for hanging out. Peace, guys.